Gia Yves Galer August Fulsha Rove. Hello a Croesia. Fescama and welcome. Hello and welcome. By whatever words and language help you to feel here with us at the OneSpirit Ordination of 2020. Our ordinands are waiting, shall we say, in the wings, and they have spent the last 3 days on retreat, processes of reflection, vow taking, technical rehearsals, and beginning to bring to a closure, a completion, the journey that they have been on for the last 2 years in their respective training streams. But for right now, I want to speak to you who have supported them in that journey, the friends and families, the former ministers, the former ordinands of OneSpirit, all of you who have had to give up the Wi-Fi for the online class or look after the family while ordinands, our students have gone away for their weekends of training. All of you, bringing you in right now to this very special occasion. And it is a remarkable space to share with you. Both this strange distance of being on a screen, yes, but also the profound intimacy that we are able to bring this ordination ceremony into your homes, your front rooms, wherever it is that you are watching this ceremony. And I would ask you to make yourselves comfortable, to make sure you have water. If you're wanting to light a candle as part of our candle lighting ceremony shortly, make sure that is to hand. Because the task that we charge you with, the one more step of support that we ask from you, is the sacred and important task of bearing witness to the statements of commitment, to the threshold of ordination, to the welcoming of these ordinands out of their role of student and onto their journey as ministers. My voice will be guiding you through the ceremony today, and the fire will be burning all the time. In a short while, to welcome the ordinands, Sheila Zietzman is going to bring them in.
Thank you, Tim. And wow, ordinance, wow. Last Thursday evening, you stepped through the vow-taking portal. Welcome, welcome to this tribal home. And if you think about stepping, many of us put the heel of the foot to the ground first. So as you step from the vow-taking portal, through this ordination portal, and then through the many, many portals that will comprise your life, your many nownesses that will be your life. Think of yourself placing your heel into that healing balm with each step. Because we know that if our feet aren't in great shape, structurally we'll be challenged. So with conscious and consistent self-care, step into the healing balm of spirit, of the divine, of the God of your understanding, to ensure your well-being before stepping into the lives of all that is around us. Healing balm, self-care, conscious awareness. Recently, I heard a statistic from the World Economic Forum. Within 2 years, 40% of our skills will be redundant. The skills you folk as ordinands have acquired on this course, skills that you bring with yourself today. Skills like deep listening, I'm just going to choose that one, will never be redundant. The healing of being heard at one's deepest level will never be redundant. Barack Obama asked a most amazing woman, Elizabeth Alexander, to write a poem for his inauguration as president. It's entitled Praise Song for the Day, and I think it's so appropriate for you wonderful ordinands. Each day we go about our business, walking past each other, catching each other's eyes or not, about to speak or speaking. All about us is noise. All about us is noise and bramble, thorn and din, each one of our ancestors on our tongues. Someone is stitching up a hem, darning a hole in a uniform, patching a tire, repairing the things in need of repair. Someone is trying to make music somewhere with a pair of wooden spoons on an oil drum, with cello, boom box, harmonica, voice. A woman and her son wait for the bus. A farmer considers the changing sky. A teacher says, take out your pencils, begin. We encounter each other in words, words spiny or smooth, whispered or declaimed, words to consider, reconsider. We cross dirt roads and highways that mark the will of someone and then others who said, I need to see what's on the other side. I know there's something better down the road. We need to find a place where we are safe. We walk into that which we cannot yet see. Say it plain that many have died for this day. Sing the names of the dead who brought us here, who laid the train tracks, raised the bridges, picked the cotton, then the lettuce, built brick by brick the glittering edifices they would then keep clean and work inside of. Praise song for struggle, praise song for the day, praise song for every hand-lettered sign, the figuring it out at kitchen tables. Some live by, love thy neighbor as thyself. Others by, first do no harm, or take no more than you need. What if the mightiest word is love? Love beyond marital, filial, national, love that casts a widening pool of light, love with no need to preempt grievance. In today's sharp sparkle, this winter air, anything can be made, any sentence begun, on the brink, on the brim, on the cusp. Praise song for walking forward into that light. And so, dear ordinands, may you hear Spirit as you walk forward into your ordination. May you be healed as you hear. May you walk forward into and within love.
Thank you, Sheila. And we return to the fire. In a short while, you'll hear the voices of Dawn Russell and Una Divine as they speak words of ritual and invocation in a spirit of inclusion and of bringing in the sacred, the divine, the God of your understanding, the holy, into this space.
Fáilte and welcome as we prepare to move through the portal from the ordinary to the extraordinary, from the physical to the spiritual. And I'm reminded of a few lines from a poem called The Song of Amerghan. am gui I mure, am tom trehan, am fuam mara. I am wind on sea, I am ocean wave, I am roar of the sea. And this speaks to us of that interrelationship between the physical and the spiritual. And so we begin by creating sacred space in the place that we find ourselves in right now. In this unprecedented time where we're actually conducting the ceremony in our own home. And I know that many of you have put such effort and created such beauty around you, especially for this ceremony. So I want you to take a moment, be in this physical space, have a look around, look at the altar you've created, look at your space. This is your sanctuary today. And allowing your gaze to experience the gratitude for this space that you've created and the intention to make it into a sacred space. And Dawn will light a candle shortly, which will further enhance this creation of the sacred space for us. And now we bring our attention into our bodies, our first and magnificent sacred home, our own personal temple. Bring your attention to your breathing, so feeling the breath maybe coming in your nose, cool against your upper lip, feeling the breath filling your chest, spacious, your belly relaxing, feeling your pelvic cradle on the chair, your hips relaxed, knees, ankles, and your feet connected to the floor and through the floor to the earth, knowing that it's the same earth we all stand on. So just for a moment in the quietness, picturing a connection, a web of connection flowing between us all, right here, right now, through the earth. And we'll honour that with a moment's silence. I'll now hand you over to Dawn.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you. So I'd like to invite all of us to a chant. And this chant can be one of an acknowledging. It's an invocation, it's an acknowledgement of our connection to nature. So the chant is earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. And it reminds all of us that whatever our belief system is, whatever is in our hearts that connects us to life, that we are part of nature. And that will always bring us home. That will always ground us. It will always feed us. It will always nurture us. And it reminds us that we're not just part of the nature of this earth, but we're part of the nature of the universe. We ourselves are natural. We belong. This is our home. And so let's sing this together, all of us, with that awareness, in celebrating, in acknowledging, in feeling our place as part of all of nature, of this beautiful earth and of this beautiful universe. We are part of it. So let's sing together. Here goes. Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. Hey, thank you. And so I invite us to bring our candles or we may have incense, or we may have a stone or a crystal, or we may just bring our hands together in prayer and acknowledgement. So let's raise whatever it is we bring to say, here I am. This is a sacred moment. This is a charged moment. And let's raise this, and then acknowledging what Tim has already said, but just to acknowledge all that has held us. So especially our families and friends that have held you through these 2 years, and to all that has held you in love over these 2 years, all that has been both seen and unseen, that has guided you through this journey, to your peers, to all of the OneSpirit minister body, the faculty, the holding teams, the staff, everyone. So much love has gone into holding this 2-year journey. And also to honour the ordinands who have dared to step on this challenging path on behalf of humanity, to help us find the heart of humanity, to help us keep living and relive the heart of humanity, the beauty that we are. So we light this, we hold this in honour and love of all of that. So this ceremony is open. Thank you.
Thank you, Una. Thank you, Dawn. Wonderful words. In a short while, we go to Jackie Amos Wilkinson. Jackie is the Director of Education at OneSpirit, and it seems entirely appropriate that she should be the one to talk to you about the purpose and vision for the OneSpirit Interfaith Foundation, and also the essence of the ceremony that we are here today to be part of. Jackie.
Thank you, Tim, and hello everybody. It is both quite strange and exciting to be speaking to you from my home today. And I'd like to start by adding my welcome to those you've already received. It is wonderful to have so many of you with us here today. Friends, family, loved ones, obviously, of our ordinands, OneSpirit ministers, and 2 members of our founding team, both Miranda and Peter Dewey. So welcome. And of course, our faculty, our staff, our trustees, and 63 beautiful ordinands. A deep, deep, warm welcome to you all. As Tim mentioned, my task today is to gather us into a shared understanding of the role of OneSpirit and the purpose of this ceremony. OneSpirit is an educational charity whose mission is to work towards evolving consciousness by facilitating open-hearted people to awaken to their inner leadership and their capacity for forgiveness, reconciliation, and peacemaking. In the huge waves of life and distress that are breaking around us at this moment, with COVID, climate crisis, and the energy of Black Lives Matter that is quite rightly exposing systems of deep-rooted inequality. And our work has never seemed more relevant or more important. Quite understandably, many people are trying to figure out how they can take aligned action to be part of this wave of necessary change. As an organisation, we recognise our part in the shadow of all of this, and that we need to do more to root it out, both within ourselves and within our organisation, and heal it. We've placed our Black Lives Matter statement in the ordination programme. If you don't have a copy, you'll find it on our website. We don't have all the answers, not by a long way, but we do know it's time for facing up to the truth that we each play a part in perpetrating climate change, injustice, and inequality. All of which can seem a long, long way away as we gather here in the privilege, beauty, and grace of this ceremony. If we wish to say with conviction that we made a difference, and I hope we all do, we need to confront our own failures to stand up for the society we want to live in. I hope there's no doubt in anyone's mind that each one of us is needed to heal these great ills and rifts in society. Evolving humanity's consciousness, one heart at a time, takes honesty, compassion, commitment, humility, and humour. It also needs collective effort, for by pooling our energies, we can magnify our impact. So I ask us to take a little bit of collective action, to take one moment's silence, to align our hearts and our breath, so we can send a collective prayer of love and solidarity to all that are currently experiencing injustice and inequality or inequality, or grieving the loss of a loved one due to COVID-19. And in the silence, let's also commit ourselves to treating this beautiful planet that supports our very existence with greater love and respect. Thank you. Whatever our outward profession, there's no one here who cannot extend love and respect. I believe, spiritually speaking, everyone has been given the task of birthing their highest self. And what better way to do that than by dedicating your life to bringing love, kindness, and compassion into the world. OneSpirit's ordinands, all 63 of them, have chosen to make that task conscious. They have done 2 years rigorous training, which required them to dig deep within themselves and to grapple with life's difficult questions. They have worked to heal their own wounds and to uncover a more direct experience of presence, of God, of the source of all, and stand ready to dedicate themselves to a life of service. The purpose of this ceremony, OneSpirit's 2020 ordination ceremony, is to celebrate that and to create a chalice in which the ordinands can be honoured and blessed as they take their final step through the portal of ordination. They do this not to raise themselves up above anyone, but so that they can make public their desire to live a life of deep reverence for all of life and to extend that into acts of loving service that bridge conflict between individuals, families, communities, and religions. They have brought themselves to the recognition that no matter what their personal path to God, service is always a necessary step along the way. And contrary to what many believe, it's not an elevation, but a graduation into being ordinary. Ordination. Ordination in OneSpirit is a radical and profound shift away from another person, an outward authority being the conductor of the energy of ordination. It's a shift towards the awakening of inner leadership and the authority forged in one's own inner language, 100% of choice, and in communion with one's own alignment with grace, divine, the source of all. Family and friends that are gathered here today of these ordinands, you have been a very big part in their journey. You've supported them. You've been alongside them. You've been witnessing both the highs and the lows. Your love, your support, your prayers have helped to bring them to this place. And it will bless them and hold them and help them now, usher them through the door of their highest calling. To give you greater insight into their journey, we have invited each of the classes to share something of their experience with you. And that is to come. So I just want to thank you all for being here. Namaste. The God in me sees and honours the God in you.
Thank you, Jackie. And as Jackie has said, we're coming to a part of the ceremony where the classes are going to make their own contributions. The whole of the cohort of OneSpirit 2020 is gathered here and have been for the retreat. But during much of the last 2 years, there have been 3 separate training streams meeting online and back when it was safe in Charterhouse in London and in Dromatine in Northern Ireland. One of the many privileges of being alongside these students has been witnessing them in their creativity. I'm going to welcome first our speaker from the online class, Michelle Feeney, with their contribution.
Thank you, Tim. I, Michelle, speak from the heart and with much gratitude to the class and on behalf of the class, the online class of 2020. Supporting each other with a deep love and creativity in an ongoing journey that takes this sacred work out into the world was written on the 1st of November 2018. This was our purpose statement created as we, the pioneering online class, parted company on our first retreat, only to meet virtually on the Zoom platform from that point on until July 2019. A deep dive into the unknown for the 12 brave souls that would rely on modern technology to allow us to meet every Wednesday evening on the platform we call Zoom. And we did it, birthing the sacred square circle. We first met in the exquisite surroundings of the Asha Centre in October 2018. And little did we know then that a family was about to be born. Each soul, a powerful energy bursting with something. Some of us did not yet know what that something was, but felt in that space with the holding support of each other and our wonderful tutors that in time that something would reveal itself to us. Our journey with 12 separate paths, all crossing at different intersections. These points yielding a stop sign, an invitation to stop, to breathe, to share, to laugh, to cry, to complain, but to be seen and simply be. Before moving a little further along the road, bound by our sacred wool that binds us together. The online class of 2020, the first online class, could not have consisted of 12 more different people, hailing from around the world, Athens, Spain, Scotland, England, and the Republic of Ireland, meetings taking place in different time zones, and each of us appearing in this virtual space each week, inviting each other into our homes, into our lives, creating a sacred family, a bond in love that can and will never be broken. Whilst we all arrived at OneSpirit, knowing that we had been called here, we all agreed the experience was nothing that we thought it would be. We have laughed with each other, cried with each other, witnessed, celebrated, consoled, sympathized, empathized, and prayed together, traveling through each other's stories, all the time holding each other in a sacred place, a place of love, a place of hope, a place of faith, a place where we are seen. Words that previously frightened or created resistance for us, like love, self-care, prayer, God, the divine, slowly became more palatable as the explicit invitation to come as you are was extended to each one of us. Our similarities alongside our differences created a mixing bowl overflowing with ingredients of that something still to be given a name, an experience that will be embossed forever in each one of our hearts. The gift of space was given to us, the gift of silence given to us, the gift of self-care given to us when diving into the inquiry of the authentic self, whilst difficult, has been a life-changing journey of growth for us as a class, as we supported each other, holding each other with the tightest of grip during times of difficulty and times of elation. The invitation to be vulnerable in a safe space as individuals has been incredible and held in reverence and glory, and only possible because as a class, everybody was equal and is equal. A wealth of experience and lives lived coming together made the online class of 2020 one of strength, wisdom, love, inclusion, surrender, and truly alive. This online family, of course, extends into the wider community of OneSpirit as we join with our fellow ordinands from London and the Northern Ireland class, whereas the online pioneers, we were gifted the chance to minister to these groups earlier this year when OneSpirit was forced to move all training online due to COVID-19. And it was with full hearts that we, as the old pros of Zoom, were able to assist in this huge transition in so many ways, more than just technically. It is possible to create connection online. It is possible to be close to each other even when so far apart. So we thank dearly OneSpirit for taking the brave step to try this medium in 2018, for it has brought us all here today in connection, in our own homes, our own sacred spaces, and though we may not be able to physically hold hands or hug each other deeply, we are connected today in a way like no other. As we reach this milestone, that curious something has revealed itself in its simplest form, ministry. How we can serve in this world, how we can be. We have come to the edge. And now as we shuffle towards the moment of ordination, we take a moment to breathe. This year, it is even more special as we truly ordain ourselves on our own authority. We anoint ourselves at this precious time. We gift ourselves this ordination into ministry as we step forward, making the conscious decision to perform the ritual, anointing ourselves with the beauty of our chosen oil. Each one of us in our uniqueness, stepping forward now into our new path of ministry. In A Return to Love, Williamson writes, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God, and your playing small doesn't serve the world." It is a humbling moment for me to be here on behalf of Stephen O, John, Dara, Monica, Vicky, Claire, Tosh, Jude, Stephen W, Demetrius, and David, the online class of 2020, and extend our love and gratitude to our tutors. Ross, our second-year tutor, you were a gift to us from God. Your natural essence has transcended our group in a way we could have never imagined. For all your care and love and support, we thank you. Neil, our first year tutor, a gentleman with more wisdom, more knowledge and more soul than he will ever be aware, brought us all to this point with his gracious love and guidance. Amy, our support tutor in first year, her dedication and zest for our future resonated through us all deeply. To Dawn, Sheila, Joanna, Tim, Annie, Una, Danielle, Christopher, Lindsay, Alan and Rowan, you have all entered, along with many others, our square circle over the past 2 years, gifting us your tremendous love and support. And we thank you. Jackie, it is with complete awe we thank you for your dedication to keeping OneSpirit alive in all of us. You exude grace on all occasions, and we are so grateful for your love, your wisdom, and your hard work. And our core tutor, whose guidance cannot be justly described in words. Nicola Coombe, you are an exquisite being. The privilege of your care, your wisdom, your love, your compassion knows no bounds. You are a special presence in all of our lives, and our lives are so much richer having known you. We thank you. As we step forward with deep curiosity as new ministers into the extreme unknown that our world has become, we are reminded to love deeply and to continue supporting each other with a deep love and creativity in an ongoing journey that takes this sacred work out into the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle, and thank you to the online class of 2020. Really right to acknowledge that you were wayfinders in this space, and that had you not gone and explored the path for us, then the transition of taking all of the training streams online, which, without denying the challenges that took place, would not have been as graceful, but for the path that you had forged. And perhaps building on that theme of technology, we come to the contribution of the London class, which is a collaborative offering that is being introduced by Ashley Ranft.
Thank you, Tim. Good afternoon, friends. The London 2020 class would like to extend their heartfelt gratitude to each of you for joining us at this important threshold moment. In doing so, you remind us that we do not walk this adventure alone. We are surrounded and nourished by the love of each of you and of those ministers who walk this path before us, and we are grateful. We'd particularly like to thank our tutors, Annie and Tim, and also our first year tutor, Una, for their love, their guidance and their patience, and to extend this gratitude to Dinah and the rest of the faculty for holding us in love during our OneSpirit journey. As with all events such as these, there's an invaluable tech team or producer working hard behind the scenes. And for us, that was Gina and her son, Camille. So a big thank you to each of you for all of your hard work in creating something which combined our offerings so beautifully. Though I have the honour of introducing the London class contribution, you will not be listening to my words for very long. While the lockdown closed the door to an in-person gathering, it opened a new one and gave us the opportunity to think a little more outside of the box when it came to the offering that each of us gifts you today. Throughout our time together, our class have found a strong thread weaving through us and within all that we wanted to gift the world. That thread was love. There is a place inside each of us that calls for love. We only need to tune into the news or look around our towns and our cities to see and feel that the world is creaking under the strain of all that waits upon her, waiting for each and all of us to see through the eyes of love and to truly feel that love ourselves, for each other and for all other beings here on our beautiful home. That is what the London 2020 class want to present to you today, in a way that recognises our individuality, but also our interconnectedness. We want to offer you a love-filled blessing, so that each of you can in turn send that ripple of love out into your own parts of the world, and to spread the simple message that the Beatles made famous, that love really is all that you need. We come before you today with a sense of awe and wonder that love is what connects us, what awakens us, what drives us to be more inclusive, more compassionate, more unified in our passion of moving towards the God of our understanding. Just for now, I ask each of you to take a moment and to consciously open your heart, ready for the offering and blessing that each of us, in our own unique way, invites you to be a part of. Love comes in many forms, as to each of us. And it is in this spirit that we created our offering to each of you and to each other. So in the words of the beloved Rumi, on a day when the wind is perfect, the sail just needs to open and the love starts. Today is such a day.
Class 2020, from the bottom of my heart to yours, may the oneness of all your hearts be aligned to your unfolding self to recover who you truly are.
May you always feel loved and supported in your journey through life.
May you be free. May you be peaceful. May you be happy. May you be safe.
May you find and hold on to your true self like the valuable and precious gift that it is.
May you have the courage and the humility to recognize the infinite ways that love wants to be in your life.
May you be blessed with saints to tell you stories, with angels to surprise you, and with friends on your journey.
May your prayer of listening deep enough to hear, in the depths, the laughter of God.
May love always be your anchor and your compass.
May the sun shine upon you. May all love surround you. May the light within you guide you home.
May the road rise to meet you, and may the wind always be at your back.
Thank you. Thank you to the whole of the London class, and in particular to the efforts of Gina and Ashley and Tony in bringing that project together. And now we come to what was by far the largest class numerically, the Northern Ireland class, and to speak and to represent them, Maureen Traynor.
Thank you, Tim. It's a great honour and a blessing to have been asked to speak on behalf of the Northern Ireland class of 2020. We came together for the first time on Friday, the 9th of November 2018. It was a very stormy weekend in Ireland with a nationwide weather warning in place. Was this an omen for the storms that might stir within us? On that extraordinary first weekend, we began the journey that has led to this momentous day. And what a journey it has been. Our venue, Drummond Town, welcomed us. For many of us, it became a sacred place. A place that held us through ritual and ceremony. We had acres of rolling countryside, forest paths, a beautiful lake, and resident families of swans and ducks. There was another holding and welcome, one of extraordinary skill and sensitivity provided by our amazing tutor group. There was a sense of coming home, a recognition that we had indeed come to the right place. I have come to know in my life that there are no accidents or coincidences. Each one of us were called to be part of this particular group at this particular time. The prophet Isaiah in the Hebrew scripture tells us, "Fear not, I have called you by name." Today, we publicly step forward and answer that call from God. The journey that we have come has been transformative. It has invited us to search deeply, spiritually and psychologically, individually and collectively, We started this training as individuals. We stand here today as one spirit. Each of us has come from our own spiritual tradition. And over the course of our studies, we have explored and gained knowledge of many different faith paths. We've developed our spiritual practice to include many treasures and practices from those paths. We have opened our hearts to a more expansive understanding of the divine. And in the words of one of my great teachers, Richard Rohr, we have transcended our roots and included much from other traditions that has deeply nourished our spirits, enriched our prayer life, and will enable us to step into public ministry. We have been challenged and blessed in creating ceremony. Just before each weekend, we would wait with a mixture of anxiety and excitement to see who were among the chosen, those who would lead ceremonies in our group class. Through the crafting of ceremony, we mirrored our life stages from birth to death and all of life in between. Our experience of being led by our tutor group in ritual and ceremony took us on a profoundly sacred path where we experienced healing, love, and transformational grace. This enabled us to stretch into our own creativity in crafting ceremonies that we presented to our peers, and laid the foundation that will help us to present to the world. But it was more than just presenting to our peers. Something extraordinary happened when we came to offer ceremony. Many of us had the experience of presenting something that was very pivotal to our own healing journey, being asked to present just the right ceremony for us. Our training has paralleled a catastrophic moment in world history. It has been a time of great suffering for many people. To those who have lost loved ones and friends, we extend our heartfelt sympathy. We stand at a threshold for all of humanity. This is a kairos moment, a sacred moment, a moment of opportunity. And this is the moment that we are called into. As a group and an organization, we were called to stretch into new ways of working together. Making the move to online training was challenging for all of us. We salute our wonderful team who supported and encouraged us to embrace new ways of continuing our learning. Many of us were stretched beyond our comfort zones and found ourselves surprised at what was possible. Today we step into the mantle of OneSpirit Ministry. For many of us, we step into a place of uncertainty, a place of not knowing. I think it would be fair to say that we are not going to be ministering in temples. We are called to minister to the ordinary, to meet people on their life journey, and to be a beacon of love in a troubled world that is suffering greatly. Each of us brings a rich tapestry to our ministry. We come as we are, in all our magnificence, in all our brokenness and our woundedness. We bring all of our life experience, all of who we are to our ministry. We step forward in open-heartedness, in grace, in the knowledge that when we call on the Spirit, we are never alone. This is a time of great uncertainty for our planet and for humanity. And this is the world into which we are called to offer ministry. There is a Buddhist koan that states, "At the very place you stand, you can become a Buddha." Each one of us will stand in our own place and become the ministers we were called to be. On occasions such as this, there are always words of gratitude and appreciation. And I want to begin by expressing appreciation of all of my fellow ordinands. We have been great teachers, ministers, angels to one another. We began this training as strangers. We stand today, shoulder to shoulder, as one spirit. There is one extraordinary young woman in our class whose journey has been an inspiration to us all. We send her our love, our deep gratitude, and our blessing. We think of her and her family today, and we hold them in our hearts. We are deeply appreciative of our OneSpirit team and wider faculty. What they have created for us today is little short of miraculous. What can I say about our amazing tutor group? Nicola, Dawn, Joanna, Sheila, and our wonderful Evelyn. We offer you our deep gratitude. You have embodied all that is OneSpirit ministry. We bless you and we thank each one of you. I want to say a word of thanks to our wonderful families, our partners, our children, our grandchildren, our friends, who have all been so patient and tolerant of us, who have held us when we frazzled at the edges, who have supported us and shared this journey with us and will celebrate with us today. We love you all. Finally, as we take this step into ministry, I leave you with some words from John O'Donoghue's A New Beginning. Though your destination is not yet clear, you can trust the promise of this opening. Unfurl yourself into the grace of beginning. This is at one with your life's desire.
Thank you, Maureen. And thank you for representing your mighty class. Unfurl yourself into the grace of beginning. Great words. One of the themes that has really been alive during the retreat has been the theme of commitment, of making vows, of making public declarations of the aspirations, the standards that our ministers want to adopt And we come to the part of the ceremony now they made on Thursday, their private and personal vows of ministry. We come now to the part where they make what we call the organizational commitments, the commitments that we, the OneSpirit Interfaith Foundation, ask of all our ordinands. And to bring us through that process, I hand over to Joanna Grace and Ross Menzies.
Thank you, Tim. And thank you to Ashley and Michelle and Maureen. The class, the three streams of the class have shared an intensive retreat. And during that time, they gifted each of us with the honor of witnessing their own individual promise, their commitment to a way of life, a commitment to service through their own individual lens. And we invite each ordinand to also join in with making a commitment as a member of the OneSpirit organization. And so we will ask each one together to stand and to show with a gesture of raising their hand or putting their hand on their heart to demonstrate commitment. The ordination itself is a symbol of the beginning, a beginning that we have heard has been a long time coming. Perhaps every moment from the beginning of this life has been leading to this moment. With the blessings of the earth and the air and the fire and the water and the weaving of the golden thread of the ether. We invite you to remember to be embodied in this moment, to experience your own inner wholeness. Ordinance, with this in mind, please stand to make your commitments and intentions.
Thank you, Joanna. Can I also say, for those ordinands unable to stand, and I know there are one or two, please stand in your own authority and prepare yourself for the commitments. I'm going to read 4 commitments to you, and what I ask is that you look within to your heart and to your deepest place of knowing. If you feel able to make these commitments, please say after I read them, I will. And I also ask that you make a physical gesture, placing your hand on your heart or holding your hands like this. Will you be inclusive, serving without discriminating on the basis of race, age, gender, religious affiliation, ethnic background, economic status, differing abilities, sexual orientation, or any other discriminating distinction?
I will.
Will you continue to deepen in your spiritual practice so that the service you offer others may always be grounded in the integrity of an authentic and evolving spiritual life? Do you promise to fulfill, to the best of your ability, the personal vow you took on retreat? And will you abide by the OneSpirit Interfaith Foundation's Code of Ethics? Thank you. And I now turn to the graduate ministers who are here to witness, honour and support these ordinands. Do you promise to welcome and support these new ministers in their ministry? If so, please respond, I do. And finally, I turn to the friends and families gathered here today. Will you uphold and encourage your loved ones in their ministry? If so, will you please answer, I will, and make a hand gesture. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ross. Thank you, Joanna. We're coming now to the real living heart of this ceremony here today, the threshold moment of ordination. And so I invite our ordinands to turn their videos off. In a short while, there'll be some music, and then we will go into the ordination blessing, which is going to be held and described by our core tutors, Nicola Coombe and Annie Heppenstall. But before that, we're really blessed to have with us Manikim Yogaswaran, who has been at so many of these ordinations with his praise songs that draw on faith traditions, diverse and varied, heightening and elevating and bringing in that sense of the sacred and the liminal. So it is with the deepest respect and gratitude that I hand over to Manikim now.
அம்பிகை பொன்னம் பலவன் ஞான குரு வாணி பதம் நாடு கஜானனம் பூத கணாதிசேவிதம் கவித்த ஜம்பு பலசார் பக்ஷிதம் உமாசுதம் சோக விநாசகாரணம் நமாமி விக்னேஸ்வர பங்கஜம் असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अभिर्दं gamaya asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityo Amirdam gamaya Agnesde vitolis peccata mundi miserere Domine Buddham charanam gacchami Dhammam charanam gacchami Sangham charanam gacchami Allahu Akbar Allahu Akbar Allahu Akbar Ich sehe dich in 1000 Bildern, Maria lieblich ausgetrübt. Doch kein von allen kann dich schildern, wie meine Seele dich erblickt. Ich weiß nur, dass der Welt Getümmel seitdem wie ein Traum verweht und ein unnennbar süßer Himmel mir ewig im Gemüte steht. Sandagaram Bhujagasayanam Padmanabham Suresham Vishwagaram Grahana Sadirsham Meghavarnam Shubhangam Lakshmikandam Kamalanayanam Yogi Hridyanagam Vande Vishnum Bhavavayaharam Sarvalokaikanaatam Namaste, Namaste, Namaste. Shalom. Shalom. Shalom.
Thank you, Manicum. Thank you so much. We have come through the portal of this ceremony's opening gestures to this heart moment. And the fire is there accompanying all of us right now. The fire is the altar. The fire is the symbol for the aliveness of this moment and this choice. Our organization has its roots in social justice. It has its roots in facing into humanity's suffering. It has its roots in the beauty that we have heard described so powerfully for the last hour. And has its roots in this word that we keep hearing today, this word ordinary. We're emphasizing this because this step of our ordinands now receiving their ordination is one that anybody can take. If there's anything special about the 63 who are about to take this step, it's that they have recognized that all of life is holy, including themselves. In addition to recognizing that it is ordinary to be holy, this ordination also recognizes that it is ordinary, it is ordained, it is the natural state of life to be in connection. And so it is the holy ground of birth and death, the holy ground of politics and governance, the holy ground of changing nappies and washing up, that is here in what we mean when we talk about the natural inclusivity of life. Ordinands and all of us who are here supporting you at this moment, we remind you that a few nights ago you took your vows. And we spoke there about the radical nature of choosing to use your voice. In the months that we've been living in, it's never been as evident as it has been perhaps globally, that the privilege of being able to breathe and the choice about how to use the voice is one that we can't take for granted. So we welcome you as you yourselves have chosen to carve out your own understanding of the truth of who you are and to declare it in a statement that we call your vow. We also were with you as you put on a stole, which is an ally, an outer ally to represent this inner decision and this inner expression of your commitment to the holy ordinariness of all of life. So in a few moments, we're going to ask you to move into a position that's comfortable for you, whether that's to stand or to kneel or to stay seated, in order to come closer to this threshold where we recognize that you have the right to make this sovereign decision, that your life is a holy expression of the divine. About 15 years ago, we broke with the tradition in our organization and in other organizations of having somebody else confer that ordination. We meant no disrespect in that decision, but instead were standing on the shoulders of the ones who'd come before us, as we wanted to make more explicit that the conferring of spiritual authority has been a much contested space on our planet. And we wanted to make it even clearer that the choice to recognize our sovereign nature is not something that somebody else can or maybe should confer. And so in our work now, you are called to stand forward on your own to make that decision, to be so receptive to life. We then ask that you turn to connection, to community, to be received. For this is not an isolated decision, and it's one that has been crafted and woven through your lifetime, and indeed very much in the last 2 years. So you step forward on your own, but in the awareness of being witnessed, of being loved, and of being welcome. And then you step back to be received. It is a birth. So, ordinands, we come to this sacred moment, this process of the ordination blessing. It's now time. Ordinands, we invite you to stand or to move into the place and position that you want to be in, whether that is seated or standing or kneeling, but move close to your altar, knowing that all of us here, your family, friends, your faculty, all of the OneSpirit graduates and ministers, and indeed all of the unseen world is accompanying you. Settle into your breath. Settle into your bodies. Do whatever you need to do to be comfortable. You need to stretch. Stamp your feet, take a big breath. Here we are. At the start of the ceremony, you lit a candle. So we invite you now to light a new candle, maybe from the first candle, to consciously arrive into the heart of this ceremony, your ordination blessing. As you light your candle, welcome its fire. Hold in mind the bonfire blazing for you. Open to the warmth. Open to your own heart. Take a breath, and we all breathe with you. Let's deepen into this moment through prayer. I invite you, ordinands and all gathered, to turn to the ordination prayer written especially by Annie for this ceremony. It's in the program if you should have it to hand. Let's again take a breath to prepare to say a prayer together, led now by Annie.
May my purpose align with all who work for peace. My heart and mind alive to global awakening. That I may see all in a field of love, freeing my inner authority to serve and to forgive, inclusive and authentic, compassionate and transformative, true to the spirit we share in our humanity. So may it be.
Thank you. Ordinands, you put on your stoles at vow taking on Thursday night, and you spoke your vows out loud. Now again, please pick up your stoles from your altars, place them onto your bodies, center yourselves inwardly, and say your vow within. In a few seconds, I will ring a bell once and then again after a minute. This time of silence is for you to receive, breathe into, open to, welcome, affirm your ordination, your holy, ordinary, sacred, sovereign belonging. Stand, kneel, sit as you are guided. Breathing deeply, reach for the oil on your altar and use it to anoint yourself in a gesture ancient and sincere on your brow and anywhere else on your body should you choose to. And to complete this process, please say your vow, this time out loud. And now, turning to whoever you are with or whatever you are with, whoever, whatever is there to welcome and witness you, please step towards them and be received, affirmed, and welcomed in your belonging. We return now to the fire to hold some silence as this time of welcome, indeed this time of birth, is celebrated. Congratulations.
Our ordinands, our new ministers, have blessed and consecrated their inner decision to step through the threshold of this ceremony and to ground and integrate that decision, that transformation. We offer up now 2 prayers. The first a song, the second a poem. Evelyn Clonan will sing the Nadir, and Dinah Pemberton will recite a water blessing. Evelyn.
To doing in you, agus ma doing a viecha, mar mi a ve kun fein. It's na lik sheni gahu, accession.
Thank you, Evelyn. That was beautiful. I will now read a blessing inspired by OneSpirit. May the still waters be upon you and calm your every motion and bring you closer to every wave. Embrace the wave, beloved, gracefully, and know in time it will all settle, as the journey back home often comes in waves.
So it's my absolute privilege to congratulate our newly ordained ministers who will become visible to us in just a little while. Congratulations to you all, dear ones. Congratulations. I know that you are so very, very welcome into this body of one spirit. And in welcome, and before you cross this threshold back into visibility amongst us, it's also my great privilege and my honor to be offering you a blessing. Dear ones, by the power of all that is sacred, by the power of the greatest good, by the power of earth, air, fire, and water, by the power of your own ancestors, angels and animal guides, by the wild and infinite spirit of love, of the sanctity of life itself. May you know yourself richly blessed, and so be a blessing to all. Knowing your own soul dance to be wholly seen and your own love song fully heard, so may you see. And with ever deepening compassion and warmth of heart. And may you hear with an ever expanding openness of mind, awake to the divine, alive to the oneness of all that is. And may love be your teacher, wisdom your guide. May the unquenchable flame of spirit be your strength and your delight, humor and humility, your abiding refuge, deep peace your gift. May you be lit up from within, your true radiance shining, and through your own inner trust, may the power of divine love flow indiscriminately, with gentleness and strength, grace and creativity, magic and mystery, that the fearful, the broken, and the hate-filled may find healing, and the world be transformed. So may you step forth now with courage, dear soul, awake, alive, and magnificent. And so it is. And now I call on Dawn and Ross and Joanna, Tim and Sheila, who are going to announce our newly ordained ministers. Now, this is going to begin with Dawn's drumming, and there will be drumming between each group that are announced. Thank you.
So, I call Reverend Agnes Crowley, Reverend Anya Maloney, Anya will appear in a moment, Reverend Aisling Grace Collane, Reverend Andrew Peter Ramage, Reverend Angie Marion, Reverend Ashley Ranft, Reverend Bal Sershia de Butlea, Reverend Katrina Numeriku Power, Reverend Caroline Lennon, Reverend Caroline Sharman, Reverend Catherine Giovanni, Reverend Claire Power, and Reverend Claire Eileen Mary Southall.
And I have the deepest pleasure of welcoming Reverend Dara Doyle, Reverend Dave Bevan, Reverend David Titcombe, Reverend Deborah Harvey, Reverend Denise Karen Willis, Reverend Edna Sordei Roxburgh, Reverend Joe Royal, Reverend Susan Cotterill, Reverend Suzanne Sersha Dance, Reverend Filippo Campagno Popolo, Reverend Pinula Morgan, Reverend Gabrielle O'Brien, and Reverend Gina Musa. Congratulations. Feel free to have a clap and a wave.
Well done, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Well
Thank
done.
you.
And then turn your videos off, please. Congratulations.
Thank you. It is my pleasure and my honor to welcome Reverend Anya Maloney. Reverend Anya Maloney. I know you're there somewhere. There she is. Reverend Glynis Woodhead. Reverend Hannah Janet Roberts. Reverend Jacqueline Layden. Reverend Jacqueline Ogden. Reverend Jackie Bull. Reverend Yaja Kupiel. Reverend John F. Doherty. Reverend Judith Catherine Mills. Reverend Laura Murphy. Reverend Maria Van Zetten. Reverend Tina Dillon Steele. Reverend Veronica Allen. Reverend Liz Sherry. Welcome. Welcome. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Well done, everybody. Congratulations.
And when you are ready, you may turn off your videos.
Thank you, Dawn. It is my delight to welcome and to celebrate Reverend Linda Jane Dunbar. Reverend Lorraine McCarthy. Reverend Keith McCarthy. Reverend Louise Bradshaw. Reverend Louise Conahy. Reverend Marion Dooley. Mark Wainwright. Reverend Maureen Traynor. Reverend Mel Cronin. Welcome, Mel. Reverend Michelle Feeney. Reverend Mo Keane. Reverend Monica Strowl. And Reverend Pat Cloudwatcher O'Gorman. Well done, everyone. Welcome.
Yay!
Congratulations, everybody.
And now, let's
Well done,
disappear
guys.
as the drums beat.
Well, welcome to the Reverend Patricia Ann Grace Sophia Peace Moynihan. Welcome to Patricia Higgins. Welcome to the Reverend Patrick McCann. Welcome to Stephen James Wollaston, Santoshan. I beg your pardon, the Reverend Stephen James Wollaston, Santoshan. Welcome to the Reverend Stephen O'Reilly. Welcome to the Reverend Susan Lawler. Welcome to the Reverend Thomas Lynch. Welcome to the Reverend Tony A. McCallion. Welcome to the Reverend Victoria Craig. Welcome to the Reverend Wendy McKeown. We have two ordinands whose identities are being retained. So, in silence, we hold the first Reverend, newly ordained. And we hold the second Reverend, newly ordained. Congratulations, guys. Fabulous. Please, congratulations.
Congratulations, everyone.
Congratulations, everyone.
Congratulations.
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 I am full up of the spirit of celebration. We come now to a moment where our newly ordained, newly witnessed, newly welcomed ministers will give to you all, the many people who are gathered here, many people who have supported them on their journey, the first blessing that they will give as ordained OneSpirit ministers. And to explain and lead us through that process, I hand over to Joanna Grace.
Thank you. In so many ways, we have heard about the activism that ministry can support us to bring as part of our presence in the world. How important it is to know when to be silent, when to listen with all of our heart, and when to speak And the next offering, it is a speaking from the heart through the body to apparent power. And in order for us to truly do that and have it be meaningful, we must build a bridge to ourselves, to our own head, our heart, and our hands. And from there, build the bridge to each other and the world. So all newly ordained ministers, join with us to sing out your blessings.
Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you as you reach out to me. With all of our voices and all of our visions, people, we can make such a sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you as you reach out to me. With all of our voices and all of our visions, people, we can make such a sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you as you reach out to me. With all of our voices and all of our visions, people, we can make such a sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you as you reach out to me. With all of our voices and all of our visions, people, we can make such a sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you as you reach out to me. With all of our voices and all of our visions, people, we can make such a sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you as you reach out to me. With all of our voices and all of our visions, people, we can make such a sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you as you reach out to me. With all of our voices and all of our visions, people, we can make such a sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you as you reach out to me. With all of our voices and all of our visions, people, we can make such a sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you as you reach out to me. With all of our voices and all of our visions, people, we can make such a sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you as you reach out to me. With all of our voices and all of our visions, people, we can make such a sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you as you reach out to me. With all of our voices and all of our visions, people, we can make such a sweet harmony.
Thank you, Joanna. Thank you to our new ministers. That was one of the songs of Green and Women's Peace Camp. And it is a real honour to think that we are in some part following on in the same journey of trying to create a more peaceful, loving, safer world. I want to thank Joanna for leading that blessing. I want to thank our new ministers for their first blessing. I want to thank them for the blessings that they are, each and every one of them, as individuals. And I want to thank them in advance for the great and varied blessings that they will bring to the world from this moment forwards. We're coming towards the end of this ordination ceremony. And I feel I also want to say a few words to the great and elemental force of the fire, which has been kept alight in spite of all the rain that has poured on it non-stop for the duration of our time. I am shortly about to say goodbye to you, but I leave you to close the OneSpirit Ordination of 2020 with the voices of our trustees, Gloria Ogumbadejo and Sylvia Robertson, two members of the trustee board who are here to say some closing words and some thanks. And then there will be a little more of the fire burning and music from Robert Norton, who I think has probably been at more of our ordination ceremonies than anyone else. So it's a great honor that he will be playing us out. Over now then to Sylvia and Gloria, our trustees.
Thank you, Tim. Peace, shalom, salam, alafia. Precious ordinance, you have heard the calling and you have answered. You've done your inner and outer work, and you're being rewarded as we celebrate and honor you today. A new journey begins today as you take your ministry, in whatever shape or form it is, into your personal and public life. Please allow yourself to breathe in, to exhale, and to evolve in your space and time. We're living in times when relationships are even more precious than ever. We're at a place and time where many struggle with trust, forgiveness, and hope. The late, great Maya Angelou said that in her experience, people may forget what you do or say, but they will never forget how you made them feel. May your souls be nourished from your experience today. May you live your vow to the best of your ability. May you be equipped with wisdom, understanding, and vision. And may you find great love, joy, and peace on your continued journey. It is well. Amen. Ashe. Namaste.
As the ceremony draws to a close, I'd like to take just a few moments to express my thanks for all that has taken place here today and to all who have made it possible. Firstly, I'd like to thank the tutors who have guided these magnificent souls over the past 2 years. Much grateful thanks to them. And thanks also to the families and friends who have supported their loved ones on that journey too. I'd like to thank the OneSpirit executive team, the staff team, and the trustees who have also provided support for them and for the whole organisation. And I want to express a deep, deep gratitude to everyone for stepping up to this challenge of COVID over the last few months, for being prepared to put in so much extra time and effort in order for the training to continue and for this ordination to take place today. Thanks to our technical wizards, Rowan and Alan, for managing the technology and enabling you all to see and be part of this momentous occasion. I'd like to offer my thanks to all who have created and participated in this beautiful ceremony. It's very touched. And to the families and friends and the ministers for attending and for being witness to the ordination of these new ministers. Thank you all. And now I'd like to invite you all to take the candles that you lit at the beginning of the ceremony and let us blow them out together. As we do so, let us send the light and the love that surrounds and holds us here today out into the world as a blessing for all beings. Blessings on you all. And I now declare the 2020 ordination ceremony is now complete.